Problem 6 deals with solving for population variance. So we're calculating the population variance for the monthly salaries of the 5 secretaries that work at Green Accounting. And I've given you the monthly salaries. Here's the equation for population variance from your textbook. And let's go ahead and get started. Actually, before we get started, I want to point something out with population variance. Variance can sometimes be difficult to interpret because the units are squared. So our answer is going to be based off of a square. So just keep that in mind as we work through this problem. So step 1 is find the mean. And we find the mean by adding up all of the monthly salaries and dividing by the number of total salaries we have, which is 5. So if we go through those calculations, I've already done these ahead of time. It's 3,168 is the mean salary for these 5 secretaries. Step 2 is to find the difference between each observation. So in this case, it's the salary and the mean, and then we square that difference. Okay, I've already set up this table for us. We've got our monthly salary listed here. In the middle, we have the observation minus the mean. And so I've gone ahead and calculated, we're taking this value, this observation, 3,200, and we subtract 3,168, which was our mean, and we get the answer of 32. Then in this column on the right, we are squaring the answer we got here in the middle. So 32 squared is 1,024. I want you to be aware as you work through these, and if you look at this next one, here's an example, we get a negative answer, negative 268. Make sure when you square any number, positive or negative, you get a positive. So all of your answers over here should be positive. If they aren't, you need to go back and double check. So I've calculated all of these for us already. And what we need to do for step 3 is we need to sum all the squared differences found in step 2. So these are the squared differences, this column right here. And I actually go a step further because I like to check all of my work as I go through when I'm dealing with numbers, especially longer numbers, or if I've got more data. I always do this. I add this up, monthly salaries. So I know from calculating the mean up here, if you look up here, that when I total all of these, it should be 15,840. So I double check my work down here to make sure I've entered my data in correctly. And I did, I got 15,840. Now in the middle here, the observation and then subtract the mean. When you add up all of these, the sum of the difference between the observations and the means needs to be 0. Now I will tell you, the first time I calculated this, I made a mistake. And I knew I made a mistake because before I even added this up, I added all these up and I did not get 0. So I knew that I had messed something up, and it turned out that I had misentered something in my calculator. So that's why we do these checks. So that must be 0. And then lastly, I added up all of the squared differences. And so I got 173,280. And then our last step is to divide the sum of the squared differences by the number of items in the population. So I did 173,280 divided by 5, and I got 34,656. Remember that this variance is based on a square. So these are squared units. I just want to add on here something that wasn't covered in the lecture video. So I just finished talking about how the population variance answer is a squared unit. And so what we can do And for this is from your textbook, page 81. The population standard deviation. So the equation for that is in your textbook on page 81. But the population standard deviation is simply the square root of the population variance. It is that easy. And the reason that we like the population standard deviation is that it converts our variance back into our original units. So if we take the square root of 34,656, then we get a population standard deviation of $186. So it gives us one more piece of data to look at and analyze.